Have you ever wondered why you marry the person you do? Is it love, fate, or something deeper, something beyond our conscious understanding? In Buddhist philosophy, marriage is not just a romantic union, it's a karmic connection, a journey where souls come together to fulfill deeper, sometimes hidden, purposes. It's not about finding someone who completes you, but about encountering someone who challenges you to confront unresolved lessons from your past. In this exploration of the karma of marriage, we'll dive into how Buddhist teachings view the bonds we form with others, particularly in marriage. What if the person you're with isn't just someone you happen to meet? What if they're there to help you heal, to guide you through unfinished business from past lives? Join me as we uncover the profound teachings of karma and how they shape the relationships we enter, the lessons we learn, and the spiritual growth we achieve. Stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why marriage might not be what you've always thought it was, and what it truly has to offer. Section 1. The beginning of a karmic union. When we first meet someone, we often feel an inexplicable connection. It's easy to assume that what we're feeling is simply love, but Buddhist teachings suggest that attraction isn't always about love. It can also be about karma, the unresolved debts and lessons carried over from past lives. According to the Buddha, everything has a cause. Everything arises from something else. Our relationships, including marriage, are no exception. The first meeting of two souls is not a coincidence. It's a karmic event that often transcends the current life. Karma, in its essence, isn't just about actions and consequences. It's about the bonds we've built across multiple lifetimes. So when two people meet and decide to marry, it may not be as simple as finding someone to spend their life with. It may be a continuation of an old karmic tie, a chance to resolve unfinished business. Buddhist philosophy teaches that everything we experience is a reflection of our actions, intentions, and desires from the past. It is not always a matter of conscious choice. Sometimes it's the invisible forces of karma that pull us toward one another. Marriage, therefore, isn't just a union of hearts or minds. It's an opportunity to fulfill unresolved debts or lessons that have been waiting to be addressed. This is why, in many relationships, we may feel inexplicably drawn to someone, even if they seem mismatched to us or others. In the eyes of karma, those mismatched partners may be precisely what we need to grow spiritually, to face what we have previously ignored or left unresolved. What we perceive as unfortunate or tragic could be a divine, albeit challenging, lesson in disguise. Through the friction in relationships, we begin to see and address parts of ourselves that we might have otherwise avoided. Section 2. Attraction and the mirror of unresolved karma. Attraction in relationships is often seen as a beautiful, mysterious force. We meet someone, and instantly, we feel a deep connection. But what if that attraction isn't simply based on love or even mutual respect, but is instead a reflection of unresolved karma? In Buddhist thought, this attraction is not about falling in love with someone's positive traits, but about recognizing something from a past life, a lesson, a debt, a pattern waiting to be resolved. The Buddha often spoke about attachment and how it is the root of suffering. When we experience attraction, it is often not the person we are attracted to, but the lesson they bring. Sometimes, the person who draws us in might not make us happy. They may even hurt us. But in Buddhist philosophy, this hurt is not the result of bad luck. It is the reflection of the unfinished emotional business from a previous life. Take the example of a woman who feels deeply drawn to a man who constantly hurts her. Despite all the warning signs, she cannot leave him. In Buddhist thought, the attraction here isn't love, but rather recognition of a karmic debt that needs to be settled. The woman might not consciously understand why she is with him, but deep inside, her soul is drawn to him because he holds the key to her spiritual awakening. This is where the real power of marriage and karma lies. It's not just about finding someone who makes us feel good. It's about finding someone who challenges us, who helps us see our unresolved wounds. The relationship becomes a mirror, showing us the parts of ourselves we need to confront. Sometimes this mirror can be painful, but the beauty of it is that it forces us to grow. If we are brave enough to face the reflection, the pain transforms into liberation. Section 3. The lesson of unfinished karma. In many marriages, people find themselves caught in cycles of emotional pain and unresolved conflict. This often happens because the lesson in the relationship hasn't been learned. As we discussed earlier, marriage can be a karmic continuation. If a promise was broken in one life, it may seek resolution in the next. But how do we break free from the cycle of unfinished karma? The Buddha taught that life is a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, not only of our physical bodies, but also of our desires, attachments, and emotional debts. When these debts are not repaid in one lifetime, they reappear in the next, often in the form of relationships. Marriage, from a Buddhist point of view, isn't just a romantic union. It is often the place where past karma seeks to resolve itself. This concept explains why certain relationships, even though they may seem filled with love, can become battlefields. We may feel deeply connected to someone, but it seems as if no matter how hard we try, we cannot make the relationship work. This is often because both partners are still holding on to unresolved emotional wounds, and the relationship serves as a way to bring those wounds to the surface. In the Buddhist view, marriage is an opportunity to resolve unhealed emotional debts. These are not just individual debts, but shared debts between two souls who have crossed paths many times before. Each argument, each fight, may not just be about the present, but a chance to clear the slate from previous lives. Only when we recognize these patterns can we begin to heal and break free from the cycle. Section 4. The role of timing in karmic unions. In the world of karma, not only is the person you marry important, but when you marry them plays a critical role in your spiritual journey. Buddhist teachings emphasize that the timing of events is never random. Timing, in karma, is everything. Many people fall in love at different stages in their lives, but not every love is meant to last forever, at least not in the way we expect. Sometimes, even though two people may share a deep connection, their marriage may not work out because one of them is not ready for the union, either spiritually or emotionally. In one Zen story, a man asks his teacher whether he should leave his wife because they fight every day, despite their love for each other. The Zen master responds with wisdom, "Your souls met too early. She is still becoming the person who will understand you, and you are still shedding the person who cannot accept her." This profound statement sheds light on the timing of karmic unions. When two people meet before they are truly ready for each other, they can never truly grow together. One partner may still be attached to their past self, while the other is evolving into a new version of themselves. Karma doesn't only dictate who enters our lives, it also governs when they do. When the timing is off, even the best relationships can struggle, no matter how much love or connection exists between the partners. The key is not simply finding the right person, but meeting them at the right time in both of your lives. In Buddhist philosophy, we often speak about impermanence, the understanding that everything in life, including our relationships, is subject to change. Marriage, then, is not the final destination, but a part of the journey. To understand this is to understand that timing in relationships is crucial. If you meet your partner before you are ready, the relationship may be filled with friction, not because the relationship is wrong, but because the two individuals have not yet reached the level of spiritual readiness to experience the union in its full depth. Thus, the lesson here is that timing in relationships matters as much as the connection itself. It's not enough to meet the right person. Both individuals must be ready. Both must be empty of ego and full of presence to truly experience the union of marriage in its deepest spiritual sense. Section 5. Marriage as a reflection of yourself. One of the most powerful teachings in Buddhism is that everything around us reflects our internal state. This idea is central to the concept of dependent origination, the idea that everything is interconnected and arises due to the conditions around it. Our relationships, especially marriage, are not random. They are a mirror that reflects everything unresolved, unhealed, or unaddressed within ourselves. In the case of marriage, your partner becomes a mirror, reflecting to you the parts of yourself that you might not want to see. They reflect your insecurities, fears, and unhealed wounds. The love or frustration you feel in a relationship is often not about the other person, but about what the relationship reveals in you. The act of marrying someone, is, in essence, the act of facing your reflection, and the struggles that emerge in marriage are often the echoes of unresolved inner conflict. Buddhist teachings stress that attachment is the source of suffering. In marriage, attachment to a specific image of the relationship or your partner can lead to suffering. We may attach ourselves to the idea of a perfect marriage, and when things don't go as expected, it creates pain. The Buddhist approach asks us to shift our focus from attachment to awareness, to seeing our partners not through the lens of our desires and expectations, but as mirrors that show us where we need to grow. The marriage itself is not the source of the problem. The issue lies within our attachment to how we think the relationship should be. To truly understand the purpose of marriage from a Buddhist perspective, we must embrace the notion that marriage is not about completing one another, but about growing together. The process of growth is often painful and difficult, but it is through this struggle that we come to understand ourselves better. In Zen teachings, there is a saying, "When the mind is still, the world reflects clearly." When we enter marriage with a still mind, without the clutter of expectations or desires, we can truly understand the lessons it has to offer. We can embrace our partner for who they truly are, and not for what we want them to be. Section 6. The sacred role of forgiveness in karmic relationships. Forgiveness is often seen as a sacred act in Buddhist philosophy. It's not simply an act of pardoning someone for their wrongs. It is a means of freeing oneself from the chains of karma. In many relationships, particularly marriages, we are often faced with the challenge of forgiveness, whether it's forgiving our partner for past hurts or forgiving ourselves for the pain we've caused. In Buddhist psychology, unresolved pain turns into karmic echoes. These echoes dictate our behaviors and reactions in relationships. Karma doesn't seek to punish us, but rather to help us grow, and the tool for that growth is often forgiveness. When we forgive, we free ourselves from the emotional prison we've built around our pain, and in doing so, we break free from the karmic cycle. This is why forgiveness is so powerful in marriage. It's not just a way of letting go of the past, it's a means of transforming the future. When we forgive, we heal ourselves and create the space for new, healthier patterns to emerge. We also teach ourselves to release attachment, the root cause of suffering. Forgiveness in marriage doesn't mean that the pain goes away immediately, nor does it mean that everything becomes perfect. But what it does is allow both partners to move forward together, shedding the weight of past mistakes. It's an act of profound freedom, freedom from the past and from the karma that has kept us stuck in a cycle of emotional pain. Section 7. Letting go and breaking the karmic cycle. One of the most difficult lessons to learn in marriage and life is the art of letting go. From a Buddhist perspective, attachment to the outcome of relationships can often trap us in the karmic cycle. Holding on to a relationship that no longer serves us, simply because we fear the pain of letting go, can be one of the greatest sources of suffering. In Buddhist thought, the act of letting go is not an act of failure, but an act of freedom. It is the recognition that the purpose of the relationship has been fulfilled, and clinging to it would only lead to stagnation. In many cases, the greatest gift we can give our partner and ourselves is to let go with gratitude, acknowledging the lessons we've learned and allowing both individuals to move forward. A Zen teacher once said, "The most powerful act of love is not holding on, it is letting go with peace." Letting go with peace is the ultimate form of freedom in a karmic relationship. It allows us to break the karmic chain and move forward, free from the pain of the past. Letting go is not just about releasing the other person. It is about releasing the attachment to the need for the relationship to look a certain way. It is about recognizing that all things, including relationships, are impermanent, and when we release the need for permanence, we find the peace that has always been within us. Section 8. Dharma marriages. Uniting for a higher purpose. In Buddhist philosophy, not all marriages are formed with personal gain in mind. Some are Dharma marriages, where two souls come together not for emotional satisfaction or personal fulfillment, but to fulfill a higher purpose, to serve the world and each other through the shared intention of awakening. In these types of relationships, the partnership is not about seeking completion, but about creating something larger than both individuals. The union is grounded in the shared mission of contributing to the spiritual or humanitarian journey, transcending the often self-centered motives of traditional relationships. A true Dharma marriage doesn't seek to fulfill individual desires. Rather, it aims to serve a greater good. This kind of union requires a selflessness that is rare in the world today. When two souls enter a marriage to uplift others, they create a force of energy that is transformative, not just for them, but for everyone they come into contact with. These marriages are often not filled with the dramatic emotional highs and lows that we typically associate with romantic relationships. Instead, they are marked by a quiet, steady purpose. The partners do not need to constantly validate each other because their bond is grounded in something much deeper, the shared intention to serve. In Zen teachings, it's said that true love is not found in the expectation of what we receive, but in the giving of what we can offer. A Dharma marriage is therefore not based on emotional reciprocity, but on the belief that together the couple can contribute to a larger spiritual and communal mission. These kinds of relationships, though rare, are deeply transformative. They bring together two individuals who have reached a level of maturity, awareness, and consciousness that allows them to work in harmony, not just for themselves, but for the world. A Dharma marriage is not about clinging to the other person. It's about serving the greater whole with humility, compassion, and wisdom. Section 9. The repeating patterns. Understanding karma in relationships. As we continue to reflect on the karma of marriage, one essential point is the repetition of patterns. Buddhist teachings emphasize that the law of karma is not merely about actions, but also about the patterns we create through those actions. These patterns are not always visible, yet they influence our relationships in profound ways. For instance, have you ever noticed that you tend to attract a certain type of partner? Perhaps someone who disrespects you, or maybe someone who abandons you just when you need them the most. From a Buddhist perspective, this is karma at play. You are not attracting these partners by chance. Instead, you are repeating the same karmic cycle that has yet to be resolved. These patterns often emerge in relationships not as random events, but as karmic opportunities to heal and break free from past habits, emotions, or attachments. In unconscious relationships, we continue to meet the same challenges because we have not fully learned the lessons necessary to break the cycle. The same arguments, the same betrayals, and the same heartaches are echoes of unresolved karma, repeating themselves in new faces, under new circumstances. Buddhism teaches that to break the cycle of suffering, we must become aware of these repeating patterns and choose to act differently. Instead of continuing the cycle of blame, anger, or frustration, we must recognize that our partners are not the source of our pain. They are simply mirrors, reflecting the unresolved aspects of our psyche. The key to breaking free from these karmic cycles is awareness and conscious action. In any relationship, whether it's a marriage or a friendship, when we find ourselves repeating negative patterns, it's a sign that we must look inward. What are the unresolved issues within us that are attracting this same energy? By addressing these patterns consciously, we can transcend them, freeing ourselves and our partners from the endless loop of suffering. Section 10. The importance of self-awareness in karmic relationships. In karmic relationships, one of the greatest challenges is learning to cultivate self-awareness. Without awareness, we remain blind to the underlying forces that shape our relationships. In Buddhist teachings, awareness is the first step toward liberation. It allows us to see clearly and to act in alignment with our true nature, rather than acting out of unconscious habits or attachments. Many people enter marriage with a sense of expectation, expecting their partner to make them happy, to fix their problems, or to complete them. However, this mindset leads to disappointment because no one else can ever truly fulfill our unmet needs. The path to happiness is through self-awareness, not through reliance on another person. In a karmic relationship, each partner is not only a reflection of the other, but also a mirror of their inner state. If we are not self-aware, we project our unresolved fears, insecurities, and desires onto our partners. This creates a dynamic where the relationship becomes about avoiding discomfort rather than growing through discomfort. Through self-awareness, we begin to see that the issues we face in our relationships are often not about the other person at all. They are about our projections. When we start to understand this, we can stop blaming our partners for our unhappiness and take responsibility for our emotional state. In Zen teachings, there is a powerful idea that when we are truly present, when we are truly aware, our relationships will be transformed. Presence means being fully in the moment, without projecting our past onto the future, and without the desire to control the situation. Through presence, we can begin to love ourselves first, and in doing so, we create the foundation for healthy, conscious relationships. Section 11. The power of letting go and breaking the karmic cycle. The final lesson in the karma of marriage is perhaps the most profound: the power of letting go. For many people, marriage becomes a form of attachment, an attachment to the idea of a perfect partner, a perfect relationship, or the fear of being alone. But the essence of Buddhist wisdom is clear. Attachment is the root of suffering. The act of letting go is not an act of failure, but an act of freedom. When we find ourselves stuck in a karmic relationship, unable to move forward, it is often because we are holding on to something that is no longer serving us. Letting go is about releasing the attachment to how the relationship should look, how it should feel, and even to the person. It's about recognizing that everything in life is impermanent, and that includes our relationships. Through letting go, we break free from the karmic chains that bind us. We stop trying to fix the other person or the situation, and instead choose to move forward with grace and peace. In the context of marriage, letting go may mean walking away when the time is right, not with bitterness, but with deep gratitude for the lessons learned. The Zen tradition speaks of the concept of non-attachment, a state of being where we are not clinging to any one person, outcome, or expectation. Through non-attachment, we find the freedom to experience love without needing to possess it. In marriage, this non-attachment allows both partners to grow freely while still being present for each other, without the weight of past karma weighing them down. The ultimate purpose of the karma of marriage. Ultimately, the karma of marriage teaches us that relationships are a path toward awakening. They are not simply about finding someone to love, they are about discovering ourselves through the reflections our partners provide. Every marriage, whether it lasts a lifetime or a moment, holds profound spiritual lessons. These lessons are the key to breaking the cycle of suffering and achieving true liberation. In the end, marriage is not the goal. Awakening is. The karma of marriage can either bind us in cycles of pain or liberate us to deeper understanding. Through awareness, forgiveness, letting go, and self-awareness, we have the opportunity to break free from the past and create new, conscious relationships. Relationships that are not based on attachment or need, but on freedom and growth.